Yep.
Hi guys, Alex here outside the Etihad. Tough day to be a Blue. City 1, Chelsea 3. I mean, we're looking at the game today and there's so much that could have gone right and there's so much that went wrong. I'm going to talk it through pretty much from 1 to 11. I think there's questions have got to be asked. Chelsea had 3 shots on target and scored all 3. Claudio Bravo has got to answer for, in my opinion. As a player, he's someone who has got a lot of stick, and I don't think that's all been justified, but he doesn't cover himself in glory today. I'm going to run through everything, by the way. If you've got questions you want to ask, I'm going to be going through the comments very, very shortly, so make sure you get involved. You're disappointed with the result, throw a like out there, man. That's what it's all about. Let's get involved. Let's talk about it. All about the discussion. All right, let's talk about Pep Guardiola, or Pep Guardiola, as he's more commonly known. Made some big calls today. I think leaving Sterling out of the 18. We're going to hear more about that in the next couple of days, I'm sure. Playing 3 at the back, a system that we haven't played with the last 2 games. It's worked well for us in some occasions. It worked well for us against Everton, albeit we didn't get the final result we were hoping for. But really against Chelsea, who have mastered their own system, it's like, you know, playing their own game. And it's a game that they have been very good at. I don't know if anyone's noticed how well they've been doing this season, but they've been impeccable. So that went wrong for us today. Sergio Aguero, I thought he was back against Burnley. He looked sublime. Admittedly, he scored 2 tappings, but his all-round play was superb. Today just didn't seem like it was his day, and he had very Sergio Aguero chances on the right-hand side of the goalkeeper, edge of the box. I backed him to score twice there, and I think he hit it wide once and into the keeper the second time. Aguero not at his best today. Scores those 2 goals, it's 3-3. Kevin De Bruyne hits the bar 5 yards out maybe, you know, into an open goal. It's 3-2, it's a different result. It changes the game entirely at that point. It would have put us into the lead. There's so much that could have been different, and I think the one factor, and I hate blaming referees, and it's certainly not something that is in my style, but the referee Anthony Taylor, he makes it hard for you to not comment on him. I know today it felt like he didn't want to give us a decision, whether it was a throw-in, whether it was a corner. He didn't want to give it our way, and sometimes you will experience that from referees, and over the course of the season there'll be a couple of times where we get the rub of the green from officials. But today, in such a big game, a game that I'm sure we'll be talking about as the title race draws on, it's something that maybe was a deciding factor. Don't get me wrong, we can't hold on to that. We can't say that's the only reason we got beaten today, because there's a number of questions over a number of players and a number of reasons we've got to ask, but it's certainly a factor. Right, I'm going to go through your comments very shortly, so get your questions in, get your thoughts in. I want to hear your thoughts. Who's responsible is the one that I want to know. Who do we blame? Do we blame Guardiola? Do we blame the referee? Do we blame Bravo? Do we blame Aguero? Do we blame Gundogan, who I thought went missing for quite a lot of the game in midfield? We finished the game with 9 players today. That's got to be worthy of comment. Get involved. I'm trying to bring it up now. This is what we're live stream when you've only got one hand. I'm trying to find it straight away, and it's not coming up yet. So I'm going to ask Paul if he can send that to me again, and I'll talk a little bit more. Let's talk about the 2 sending-offs. Fernandinho and Aguero. First off, I think it was coming over the course of the game. I thought it was incredibly frustrating, and I fully understand why both of those players felt the way that they did. And I think it is a good sign that we see passion from those players. However, you can't justify a tackle the way that Aguero made it. It could have really hurt someone. Maybe the player, David Luiz, had it coming, but equally, it doesn't justify it. And we're now going to miss Aguero for a minimum of 4 games. That's pretty much all of the December fixtures. He'll come back to the Liverpool game on New Year's Eve, which may be a headline that Sky want to see, but it's not what we need. We need our best players available. We've all seen how December can change it. Last season, December knocked us out of the title race because we didn't have key players available. All right, let's throw ourselves over. Bravo was doing the mannequin challenge, to be honest. I think that's fair. That's a fair comment, Ali Faruqi. The second one, don't get me wrong, you know, I think he's a quality keeper, Bravo, but I'd like to see him done more. A lot of people are saying blame the defence, a lot of people say blame 3 at the back. Crystal Mondays finishing must be blamed. I think that's actually a very different day. We take our chances and we get the result that we need. Aguero was a disgrace, as Danny Tapito. Aguero was the joint top scorer in the Premier League. There's a lot of people who will jump to criticise Aguero, and don't get me wrong, I thought he was poor today, he had a bad day at the office, but a disgrace he is not. And also, I'm not into this culture that's easily creeping into Manchester City this season, of naming and shaming players, giving people stick, abusing players from the stands. That isn't the club that we are. We'll leave that to Manchester United, that's what their style is. We're about something better than that. We're about supporting the team. We are supporters after all. So Aguero is out of form, but calling him a disgrace to the message boards, that isn't the way forward for me. Aguero did deserve to be sent off. Yeah, he did. He lost his head. Busted. But, you know, it's a bad example to set if we're standing here and say he didn't deserve to be sent off. He did deserve to be sent off, and there's a lesson we've got to learn, is that players react to poor refereeing, they react to frustrating teams the right way, because we can't justify it. And Arsenal and Chelsea and Manchester United and Liverpool, they all have teams who come and build the wall up against them, but you can't justify that by kicking people and throwing yourself in. Question marks over Kolarov, Ilham Kennedy. I think so. I think Kolarov, he's given a lot of years of service to this club. I thought last season it was time for him to go. I thought he stopped committing himself. This season he looked like a renewed man for the first 10 games of the season. The last few, I think there is a big question mark, and I would be surprised if he makes it past the end of the season, if he gets his contract renewed. I think we're playing through at the back with the players that aren't maybe right. John Stones and Otamendi both had shaky moments, and Alexander Kolarov throughout the game, poor choices, and needs to up his game at least before January if he's to guarantee himself. I don't think Guardiola will bring the defender in January, but Kolarov has given him good cause to. Someone saying send him back, had enough for Guardiola. I don't believe that is a real Manchester City fan. I'm actually impressed, because I think that you look at Arsenal and you look at Manchester United, when results don't go their way, you get a lot of people saying sack the manager. And whilst there are one or two whispers around the ground, by and large, I think everyone here is backing the manager and understands this is a long-term project. And we are going to make mistakes, and we are going to have difficult days, and it is going to be hard to watch sometimes, but equally it'll pay off in 3 seasons when we see our team at the very, very best they can be. And for what it's worth, for my 2 cents, I still think we're watching the best Manchester City side of all time. I don't think we've ever been playing better football. I don't think we've been moving the ball the way that we have, creating the chances that we have. And whilst it isn't finished yet, when it is, I think we're going to look at it in a very, very different light. Richard Joyce. Bravo poor. Sane defensively was poor. Wrong position in my mind. Team not clinical in general. I think if we saw anything today in terms of Chelsea, it's something they did brilliantly, is that Moses and Alonso, who are both Moses is an attacking player who has played centre forward at the past in his career. Alonso was a left back who's been made into a winger, and they are tested to how wing backs should play. And I think over the next 20 years of the Premier League, we're going to see a lot more of wing backs. It's going to be the new style of football. It's the new 4-4-2. Every club will have wing backs. Leroy Sané is not a defender. He is not someone whose positioning is on point. He's not someone who knows how to throw himself into a tackle. And I think credit his effort today. He gave it a really, really good go. And I don't necessarily blame him for his defensive work. I think it's asking an awful lot of him from Guardiola. But it is something that either he's A, going to have to learn, or B, Guardiola is going to have to find a way of fitting Sané into his system. And maybe we'll only play Sané in the games where we're the absolute favourites, unlike today, where every single player needs to put in a 10 out of 10 performance. I'm going to roll through some more. If you're just watching us, this is the BlueMoonRisingTV live stream. Get your questions in. We're going to be running through the facts and opinions.
Can we see the comments there?
We're going to go through the comments some more. There we are. Look at that. Coming straight through to me live. You'd be amazed. Right, okay, let's have a little look. Nick Spencer, your fans were booing every little challenge. I take it you're a Chelsea fan, Nick Spencer. I think that was justified, I'm sorry, but Chelsea fans, the way that you conduct yourselves as a fan base, I don't think you get anyone to point the finger when things don't go your way. You know what? I think we do usually get decisions as a club, Manchester City. I think we do usually get penalties in bookings and things like that when we ask for them. And today it was a really frustrating day, but I also think it was justified. And I actually like to see the fans getting a little bit of noise and showing a little bit of passion, because we've been accused of being quiet in the past, and all of a sudden we show a little bit of passion and you hold the finger up again. So long story short, do one basically. Will we make top 4 from Pat Mouse? Yeah, I think we will. I think we're too busy getting results, and I think over the course of the season we will. There's too many teams that don't want top 4. Manchester United don't want top 4, they're throwing chances away. Tottenham don't seem to be turning up for the very big games despite being in good form. I think, you're looking at Arsenal, maybe I think we're better than them. Liverpool will be up there. I think we'll be top 4. I don't think there's too many questions about that. A lot of people talking about hatred of Chelsea. A lot of people talking about Kevin De Bruyne's open goal. I think, you know what, Kevin De Bruyne, when a player of his quality is missing a chance like that, you just sort of have to hold your hands up. I've never ever heard 50,000 people say, oh, Kev, before, but you know what, all the wonderful things that man does, I think we have to write off that one chance, as frustrating as it was. A lot of stick for Kolarov, a lot of criticism of Leroy Sané, which I don't know how much that's justified. I don't think he covered himself in glory. I think he was at his best today, but I do think perhaps let's go easy on him. He is only a young lad. He's got a lot on his shoulders. Jacob, where was Sterling? Short answer is I don't know. There's a couple of people saying he might have got injured in training this week. I hope that isn't the case. He has played a lot of football this season. Maybe Guardiola took the chance to rest him today. I'm not 100% sure why, because we don't need him to play on Tuesday night, and it is a week until the Leicester game. But on that one, I'll trust in Guardiola. And I also think with Sané and Navas should have been good enough. I know I just said we've been harsh on Sané, but I think I don't see Sterling doing the difference today. Let's have a little look. Yeah, Hamza Galani getting on Sane. Lots of rude things to be said about Diego Costa. I've just said on Twitter that I think Diego Costa is the most Manchester United player to never play for Manchester United. He's a born red. He's a born red that plays in blue, Diego Costa. But you know what? If that's how he wants to play his football, if that's what he wants to do when he looks back on his career with his grandchildren and say that's how your granddad played the game, then credit to Diego Costa, because he's very, very good at what he does. And he's infecting the players around him. I remember when Fabregas was a gentleman playing at Arsenal, and look at the player that Fabregas has turned into now. Loads of stick for Bravo. I've just seen somebody say that they'd rather have Angus Gunn than Claudio Bravo. I mean, come on, guys. Claudio Bravo, I think, we all love Joe Hart. I think we all miss him, but also Claudio Bravo. He's made some tremendous saves this season, and I think he's actually created a lot of chances this season. So, yes, today, poor game from Claudio Bravo. Maybe like you look at it like a 4 out of 5 out of 10, but we can't blame him for all our woes, although he was partly responsible. Lots to stick about the Etihad. That's interesting given it was packed today, but yeah, whatever, make yourselves happy. Ref was poor, but so was the finishing. I think you've summed it up there, Hamza Galani. Yep, definitely. Let's look at that. Top tweet, a top pot comment, I think. Summed it up beautifully in one line. I think the finishing was poor, the refereeing was poor. Maybe if we got that better, we could have done something better. Alright, as you can tell, I've got an absolutely massive cold going on, so I'm going to disappear. I'm going to close this up now so I can go and blow my nose. And I know Paul's desperate for a wee. But thanks for getting involved. The fans, it's all about you guys. This channel, it's all about the supporters and getting the comment from the people who matters most. Let's see you next time. This is Blue Moon Rising. See you again.